Hey everybody, it's Pixelated Pat, and I'm back with another episode of our Pokemon Crystal Randomizer Hardcore Nuzlocke. Today in the agenda, we don't really have anything too important, just taking on some of the local trainers and getting a couple encounters out of the way. I figured this would be a good chance to test out some of our more recent encounters like Muck and Corsola, so I was excited to bring them along to see how I could utilize them. Oh yeah, and just a quick note, you'll probably notice that I renamed Muck from Katie to Mandy because I don't want to think about my ex-girlfriend every time I use it. That being said, let's get on with the episode. Seeing as we already got our Route 38 encounter when we captured Fanpy, we are able to head right into some trainer battles. Starting off, the Bird Keeper stays on script by sending out a Pidgeotto who we take down with Birdman, and the same goes towards Drowsy. Next up, he sends out a Girafarig, but we make quick work of it with Laxus. The very next trainer also sends out a Pidgeotto, who this time falls victim to Muck because I wanted to test out Poison Gas's consistency. Next up, after we poison their Lapras, we take it down with Yajirobe. Next on the board is an all-terrain Venomoth who falls to the hands, or should I say wings, of Birdman. The next battle is fairly easy as well, with Girafarig falling to Laxus and Ivysaur falling to Birdman. Starting to see a lot of dupes on this route. After obtaining the Thunderstone trainer's number, the very next trainer attempts to play some psychological warfare with us by sending out our starter from the failed run, Pupitar, but we take it down all the same with Cassie. Next up, this trainer made me nervous with this Kangaskhan, especially when their 5 consecutive Comet Punches takes us down to the yellow. Regardless, we are able to push through it and take it down with Yajirobe's low kick. Afterwards, we KO this Blissey with Yajirobe, and we are met with an Entei. Even though I have 2 Water-type Pokemon and Laxus on hand, I wanted to test out the consistency of Poison Gas again, but this time I wasn't as lucky, as it took like 8 turns to land a Poison Gas. From there, I send in Corsola and land a Surf, and let the poison damage handle the rest. From there, I head south, and Yajirobe gets a bit more of action in the spotlight as he takes down both the Seal and an opposing Snorlax. Next up, we face a trainer who will only battle us at night, and they send out a Larvitar who falls with the quickness to Cassie. From there, we go for our Route 39 encounter, which turns out to be none other than the infamous Dodrio, the very same Pokemon who took out Misdreavus and put us in wipe territory. After weakening it with Pound and throwing 5 balls, we secure the encounter with a Great Ball and name him Drillbird. After securing quite possibly one of the strongest encounters we had in a while, we take down the final trainer of Route 39 who only had a Piloswine we took down with Corsola, and an Umbreon and Lapras who both fell to our fighting type expert, Yajirobe. Next, we make our way south and are met with our rival Sasuke, and he mumbles something about avenging his family, but we remind him that he has no family because he's an orphan, which makes him cry and leave immediately. From there, we break into the fisherman's house and shake him down for a good rod, which we immediately go aside and use for our Olivine encounter, which turns out to be an Octillery, which we nickname Octodad after securing the capture. Needless to say, I was feeling quite festive after securing a pair of great encounters, so I thought I'd celebrate by taking out the Lighthouse trainers. The very first thing I do is nearly lose Cassie, the Corsola, to Nidoking's double kicks because I felt like living dangerously. From there, we take on this Yanma with Birdman and the Slugma with Kathy before moving onwards to the next floor. The next trainer was one I was nervous for since he has 5 Pokemon on hand, which is always nerve-wracking in a randomizer. We take out his Execute with Birdman, his Smoochum with Laxus, the Smachamp with Kathy, Slowking with Laxus, and Nidorino with Kathy again. So basically I was nervous for nothing. The next trainer managed to make me nervous for a moment when his Zoom Roll started building up rollout on Birdman, but we're able to avert any potential crisis a couple turns later when Laxus' headbutt lands a flinch. Afterwards, Yajirobe makes short work of their Quagsire. Next up is an unknown A who falls to Mandy the Muck, but we are then met with a Kingdra. Intrigued by the matchup, I left Mandy in, land a Poison Gas, stall it out for a bit with Minimize before hitting it with Pound to chip its health down, and a couple turns later, the Dragon-type Pokemon falls to the prowess of Princess Muck. It was about now I realized how wrong I was in saying that Muck was an average encounter because she's been absolutely great so far. Next up, the Bird Keeper falls like the rest, only throwing us an Arbok, a Rattata, and a Rhyhorn. Afterwards, we make a goated item find when we were able to find the Scope Lens, which I'm hoping will come in handy later. Although we definitely didn't need it to knock out this Magikarp, nor did we need it against this Blissey. From there, we take on the last trainer of the tower, who only had an Aipom we KO with Yajirobe, a Venomoth we take out with Birdman, and finally the False Prophet Kabuto we take down with Yajirobe again. After clearing the Tower of all trainers, we enter the top floor so we can save the princess, but wind up not doing that because she don't want to be saved. Shout out to everybody who caught that J. Cole reference. Anyways, we have reached the end of the episode, so as always, I like to take a moment to thank all of you absolute legends who have been supporting me and watching my videos. Your support means the world, and I couldn't do it without you guys. In the next episode, we will be taking on the ocean together so we can find the One Piece, so don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be the first to see it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Pixelated Pat, signing off.